I used to weigh 300 pounds. Now, the story I'm going to tell you is not about someone who weighed 300 pounds and then weighed 200 pounds and it was a one and done situation. Actually, it's probably the complete opposite. I'm trying out a new foundation today, so wish me luck. The most I've ever weighed was over 290 pounds. That is the top that I know of. I stopped getting on the scale, which is why I say I think I was closer to 300. The lowest I've ever weighed as an adult is 200 pounds. And what I weigh now is about 215. And in between getting from 300 to 200 was multiple attempts to drive my weight down using various different methods. And then getting to 200 pounds was figuring out exactly how my body needed me to feed it in order to lose weight, which has brought me to keto. My body basically only will lose weight when I'm in ketosis. Lucky me. I feel really good in ketosis, but that's really been the only way to move the weight off my body. Now, when I use keto and fasting a little bit toxically, I got myself down to 200 pounds with this expectation that at that weight, all of a sudden, every problem in my life would be solved. Everyone would love me. I would love myself. Most importantly here, I would love myself. And the reality is that's not what happened. Not even close to what happened. I know. I got on the scale one day and it finally read like 199.8 and I was really excited. I was like, this is it. This is it. This is what's happening for me. I am finally below 200 pounds. And I looked in the mirror and I still saw somebody I didn't love, somebody who still had not become worthy of my love, and that dream I had had of all of a sudden, suddenly, if I could get to 200 pounds, that would mean I had finally learned how to love myself. And when I didn't suddenly love myself, I was like, what is this even for? Like, why am I doing all of this work, you know, cutting out foods, not eating carbs, fasting, doing all of this work if it wasn't to learn how to love myself? You know, like I was just so mad that that hadn't been the answer, that vanity metric hadn't been the answer. I turned back to food. I dropped all the rules that I had had for myself and I just went back to my old ways of eating. Literally just whatever I wanted, when I wanted, and kind of spiraled for a while. And then enter in some mental health crises that I've had over the last couple of years because I have shit from a long time ago that I have never properly processed, and that stuff has a way of creeping back up on you and forcing you to deal with it. I put back on about 60 pounds since being at my lowest. And that is when you would see last year when I posted my insulin resistance video, showing you what it looked like on my body, the damage that I had done by going back to eating what we call in the nutrition world a standard American diet. I didn't gain, obviously, all the weight back that I had lost. I got back up to about 260, but it was substantial. And I could see on my body that it was struggling. My daughter just came in and interrupted me, and now I'm trying to remember where I was. Okay, so last year I made the video, and then I decided that I would take the year to focus exclusively on healing insulin resistance. So I wasn't going to be like focusing necessarily on weight loss or anything like that. I really wanted to take the time to focus on my health and healing the markers that were telling me that what I was doing was going to be impacting me for long term. I love the idea of living to 100, and I'm not going to be able to do that if I keep my body in that insulin resistant, metabolically out of balance place. So over the last year, I focused on doing some cycles of keto and some cycles of carnivore where it fit in my life. Meaning that I knew that all or nothing for a long time doesn't always work for me where I was at that time. I'm not going to say it's never going to work for me. I would love to be able to just do carnivore, ketovore for forever because it makes my body feel really good. But when we go camping, it's really hard for me to not eat the treats that are everywhere. And that has a different impact on my mental health. So I have said, like, where it fits, I'm going to do the things that really work for my body. And then when it doesn't fit, I'm going to focus on mastering moderation. This is where there's another lesson, though, is even moderation for me, eating in still a caloric deficit, when I'm eating foods that cause inflammation in my body and blood sugar spikes, I gain weight. So once again, at the beginning of the summer, I had gotten myself down to about 220. So I'd lost in about 9 months, 40 pounds. Nothing insane, but again, trying to balance with my life. By the end of August, though, I was up, pushing back close to about 240. Even though I had worked really hard to stay in a caloric deficit, not overeat foods most of the time. I was not perfect. And to be honest, Halloween was a bit crazy for me. But my body was still metabolically at this place where it very easily was choosing to put on weight. I was once again going through a bit of a mental health thing where I had been diagnosed with ADHD, severe depression, and severe anxiety, finding a therapist, getting on medication for ADHD, and working on writing myself. Like, getting my shit back, my ducks in a row. And since about mid-November, I've started to feel the pull to get back to eating in the ways that work really well for my body. And I started back into keto for most of December. Actually, I did really well. I made it through Christmas, but New Year's tripped me up. Anyways, that's fine. I didn't expect that. And I started out January with my husband doing what was going to be a 31-day carnivore reset. And so since November, my body weight has gone from about 240 and now back to 215. My body is finally feeling really good. I'm really happy with how it's feeling. I'm happy with how my brain is functioning. My husband has asked that we stay on carnivore for, I think it's going to be a total of just about 8 weeks till we go on vacation in the end of February. And I'm happy to do that because of how good my body and my brain feel on this way of eating. And it's still only 11 days in, and there's way more healing to happen. All that to say, this weight loss journey for me has not been a one-shot, and it has been me learning about how my mental health plays into this whole picture, my relationship with food, my relationship with my emotions, and that there is a lot of things that I had to overcome to get to a place where I can have a healthy relationship with how I nourish my body, and feeling excited about getting to take care of my body. I have learned a lot along the way, including going back to school for nutrition so that I can help people, like, officially with their nutrition. And I have learned a lot from my own journey and working with clients about what it actually takes to finally make something stick and finally have wellness stick in your life, and helping people embrace that you don't have to be perfect every day. If carnivore works for your body, you don't have to do it every day, but you can do it when you can do it, And there's times in your life for both of those, for living, in this foodie world, and then also taking time to do what works for your body. And the one thing I want everybody who watches this video to know, and really the whole world, anybody who's on a wellness weight loss journey, you have not failed until you've given up. Just because the path wasn't straight like some people's, it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you or that they're better in any way. Because let me tell you, as someone who has had to keep taking up arms in the fight to take care of my body and my health and lose the weight, get pregnant, be a mom, I have a lot of fucking tenacity. And so if you keep figuring out how to start again and not give up, you're just like me. You also have a lot of tenacity. So just don't give up. Keep trying things. Figure out what works for you.